caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Calderese, the caltrop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he's been up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Calderese, in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop. I am your host, Mike Calderese, Michael Calderese, whatever you want to call me, formal, informal, it doesn't really matter. Some call me Mikey. I grew up being called Mikey. So if you want to call me, hey, Mikey Calderese, feel free. But welcome everybody to the Caltrop. And I'm going to tell you early, sorry, I have pulled a very long day at work because I missed the last 2 days. So I have some things planned. We do not have a jam-packed show for you tonight, but we have a packed show. But I'm going to rely on you. I'm going to be checking all of the feeds. If you want to follow me on the YouTube feed, the Rumble feed, the Facebook feed, put your comments in there, and I'm going to need your help. We're gonna do a couple things. So we have some news. We have some things we didn't get to the last couple of days. We'll touch on them. I do have a monologue about love. We talked about hate a little bit on Monday. But then I wanted to take the approach of looking at love versus hate, like historically in the monologue. So we're going to talk about that on the mics, right? Then we have a couple other topics to get into. Obviously, Bongino leaving. Bongino, very short stint. I saw a question in one of the chats already about why do I think he left. Stay tuned for that. I'll give you a breakdown on that. We have obviously tax returns I didn't get to the last couple of days. We have the House GOP has passed a very narrow healthcare bill, and I don't think they're going to renew the subsidies. So I think they're trying to get that the healthcare cost to explode. I don't know. We're gonna discuss it. But again, anything you want me to talk about, put it in the chat, and I'll be happy to talk about it. We have Trump's chilling plan. I have an Odell Beckham clip that we haven't got to in a bunch of days. Another clip about why am I racist? Young kid, I found his perspective very interesting. And let's waste no more time. And everybody, once again, thank you very much for being here. If you can, share this episode with your friends. And obviously, finger the fuck out of my like button early and often. If you turn it on, if you turn it on and then turn it back off because you hit it twice, turn it back on. Remember to leave it on, but it loves you touching it. I mean, it just loves you touching it. And then it's going to want to make you touch everything else. The share button and the whole 9 yards. And I hear, it's funny because I hear my whole family in the next room. I'm still obviously downstairs. And I hear kids laughing. I hear my other son crying. It's very interesting. But he was, and put it in the chat. I have a question for you. You know what? I have to, I guess I'll during at some point I'll see if I get this picture in there, but it just hit me. Put it in the chat whether you think Valentino saw Santa Claus today. And what do you think, Valentino? How do you think he reacted? Do you think he cried? Do you think he was stoic? Or do you think he interacted with Santa and smiled and we got some awesome pictures? Put it in the chat, but let's get started. Let's get this show going. The mic's right. Shut up and listen. All right, so Monday we talked about hate, obviously. Today, let's talk about the thing that everybody pretends to believe in, and that's love and peace. And don't worry, because I'm not about to hold hands, sing kumbaya, or light scented candles that smell like forgiveness. Relax. I'm not going to get all sappy on you. You guys know how I roll. But love and peace, I want to be clear on it from Monday, right? They're not soft. They're not weak. And they damn sure aren't passive throughout history. In fact, historically speaking, love has been the most violent threat to evil that really has ever existed. And that's why evil spends so much time mocking it. Here's the first truth that people don't like. Hate is easy. Love takes discipline. Hate is lazy. Love requires work. Hate just shows up. Love has to be chosen every time, every single time, especially when someone doesn't deserve it. That's when it really has to be chosen. That's why people worship anger now. Anger lets you feel powerful without actually doing anything. You don't have to build. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to understand. You could just be angry. You could scream. You could post, cancel, and move on like you accomplished something, feeling all proud of yourself. Ooh, look what I did. Congratulations. You yelled at your phone again. Rosa Parks just stood up in her grave and stayed back down. But throughout history, when evil was at its peak, it wasn't defeated by rage mobs or keyboard courage. It was beaten by people who said, I'm not becoming you to stop you. And she's walking right in the middle of it. Give me like 5 minutes, baby. Jesus flipped tables, but he healed people first. Gandhi starved empires without firing a shot. MLK didn't preach revenge. He preached dignity so loud, it exposed the rot underneath power. And notice something important. Every one of them was accused of being weak right before they broke the system. Because evil needs you to be angry. It feeds on rage like a TikTok algorithm. And here's the uncomfortable part that nobody really wants to hear. Peace is threatening. Real peace, not fake coexist bumper sticker type peace. I'm talking real peace. And that says I see your chaos and I'm not joining it. I'm standing up against it. That drives broken people insane. Because if you don't hate back, they can't control the narrative. If you don't relate, they can't escalate. If you don't dehumanize, they lose their excuse. That's why every corrupt system tries to convince you that love is naive. Love doesn't work. Peace doesn't work. Being the bigger person doesn't work. Funny how the people saying that are usually selling weapons, fear, or outrage subscriptions. But let's be real. Love isn't letting evil run free. And peace shouldn't be pretending everything is okay. Love is calling out evil without becoming it. Peace is setting boundaries without burning everything down. It takes more strength to hate, to love than hate ever will. Hate just reacts. Love confronts. Hate destroys everything in the room. Love aims and hits the right target. And here's where people mess it up. They think love means silence, and they're wrong. Some of the loudest moments in history came from people grounded in love, not ego. Love says, I'm fighting for humanity, not my side. And that's why it scares authoritarians, cult leaders, and outrage merchants. Because love, it doesn't need permission. Peace doesn't need validation. And neither can be controlled once people really, truly understand them. And if evil could be beaten by hatred, it would have died a long time ago. But that's all I see fighting hate today. Evil survives because of hatred. It recruits through fear. It grows through division. It thrives when people stop seeing each other as humans. Love disrupts that entire supply chain. That's why it's mocked. That's why it's reduced to emojis. That's why it's sold like Hallmark cards instead of taught like a weapon of truth. So no, love isn't weak. Love is restraint when chaos begs you to snap. Peace is clarity when everyone else is drunk on rage. And the hardest thing you'll ever do is stay human in a system that profits off of you becoming a monster. To me, that's the real rebellion. That's how evil loses. Not with more hate, not with more noise, not with people who refuse to surrender their soul for applause. And that, guys, is why love and peace have always been and always will be the most dangerous ideas on planet Earth. Tell me what you think of the chat. That's the Mike's Right. Hope you listen. All right. So in the middle of that entire thing, I told Serena to bring in the baby because he just turned 8 months old, and I think she had him in some type of Santa outfit. So here she comes, and you want to talk about love, and you want to talk about love and peace. The two things that I love most in the world are in this room. There's like what 4 things total that I love most in the world, and that's everybody in this house right now. But look, hi, buddy. Look at the camera. Say hi to everybody. Say, look how big I'm getting. You want to say anything into the mic? Want to say anything? No? Huh? So Valentino now is 8 months. Look how big he is. Look how big this kid is already. 8 months old. He turned yesterday. Right, buddy? Are you ready for Santa? Are you ready for Santa? And he loves food. He eats everything now. And he's got to be every bit of 25 pounds. It is insane. This is probably an 18-month outfit. Oh, this is a 12-month outfit? This is a 12-month outfit, and it's squeezing on him. So, all right, Mama. Say bye to everybody. You want to say hi to everybody? No? You were making so much noise in the other room. No? Yeah, you were eating. Thank you, baby. But that was great. Hi. No, you don't want to make any noise? So, but everybody, that to me is love, right? And this is why we do all this stuff. This is why, this is why I work all day and I come here and do this. And it's really out of the love for them to try to provide for them. It's crazy what it makes you do. I gotta tell you something. I'm going to give you guys a quick story about this. And it kind of blew my mind, right? Because my daughter wrote her, oh man, I should read this. I really should read this to you guys. Let me see. Maybe I will read this because I think it's perfect for this. I may even start crying if I do this, but let's see. Because this was absolutely insane. And you want to talk about love. This was what she wrote for her college essay. Okay. The essay for all the colleges that she said, when you're applying for college, this is what she wrote. And when I read this, I feel like an asshole reading this right now, but it's okay because it's phenomenal, and you're gonna think it's phenomenal as well. But it's gonna touch on what I'm talking about love versus hate, living love, feeling happiness, feeling joy, versus being miserable, feeling hate. There's a lot of, it seems like we're creating a lot of very, very miserable people, but my daughter's take on this, I think, is going to be perfect for this moment right here. So let me read this. She said, I'm going to try to do this without choking the fuck up here. Okay. Hold on. Because I was trying not to do this. I was trying not to like overtly cry when she was reading this for me. For the first 17 years of my life, I was the youngest child. As far back as I can remember, it was just me, my older brother, who is 4 years older than me. I had been begging my parents for a younger sibling since I was 13. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Eventually, I accepted that I would always be the youngest. Change is something I always had a difficult time embracing. However, the day my mom came into my room, just before I turned 17, and told me I would have a younger sibling, I welcomed that change without a second thought. I had always been the baby of the family, used to looking up at somebody. Now, suddenly, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to be honest with you. I had someone looking for me for guidance. Having the chance to truly recognize my mother's strength gave me a newfound appreciation for her. Throughout her pregnancy, I was able to go to the ultrasounds. One moment I will never forget was the first time I heard my brother Valentino's heartbeat. In that instant, I realized that change, although often scary, is not unpleasant. While the pregnancy was smooth sailing, the delivery was not. The nurses that supported her during that time are the reason I want to be a postpartum nurse. I admire the way they cared for her. When I felt happiness to do anything myself, So when I finally got the chance to meet Valentino, tears immediately followed. That day, something inside me shifted. It's hard reading with tears in my eyes, I'll be honest with you. At that moment, I went from the younger sister to the middle child. Suddenly, everything had changed. Instead of my parents helping me navigate school stress or friend group drama, we were all helping each other adjust to the new addition to our family. I now have the chance to observe my parents in a new light, and getting to see them raise Valentino feels like a blessing. Every morning when I wake up, I see 3 smiling faces instead of 2. And every night when I go to sleep, I say goodnight 3 times instead of twice. My baby brother has helped me grow too. Although he cannot assist in everyday tasks, he has taught me so much. I've gained patience, time management skills, a deeper sense of responsibility. Being a teenage girl, life could often feel dramatic and overwhelming, but this experience has grounded me. I now have a clearer understanding of what it truly matters in life. And while it may seem foolish to be inspired by a 7-month-old, I often find myself thinking about him during difficult moments. In the end, I have learned that not all change is difficult to accept. I had my doubts on whether or not my parents would notice me less, as in many situations you might fear. But instead, I believe that Valentino brought us together. I no longer see challenges as daunting. I see them as opportunities. Change is a concept that many people learn to resist. And once I shared that mindset, I once shared that mindset, but now I view it as something meaningful and even pleasant. My family, even the newest addition, has shaped the person I am becoming. Moving forward, I welcome change because you never know what beautiful things can come from it until you let it in. Whew, that was, oh man, that was my daughter, like just fucking punching and kicking me right in the old in the feelings meter right there, huh? Good Lord. All right. So, but that was, I wanted to read that, and I definitely didn't want to sit there and tear up and not be able to read it. But I think it's very relevant for what's going on today. You know what I'm saying? You have a 17-year-old girl that's able to look at this situation, see that, and take that from it, and see what joy and peace and happiness. And when you come down to a happy mindset and a happy house and a happy environment, how it could shape you in a very happy, positive way. And on the flip side of what we have in a lot of environments, including in America, is you have people that are growing up in very nasty environments. And I think the nasty environments start in the house. It starts from hatred. It starts from being angry. It starts from being mad. And I don't know how to make love affect everybody else that's already full of hate. I don't know how to do that. But I do know whatever my daughter figured out, watching us checking that out, I think the world needs a hell of a lot fucking more than that, or more of that. I don't know what's going on with this. Did something just go wrong? Okay. I guess not. But yeah, I think the world needs a lot more of what my daughter was able to see. Love throughout history has triumphed over evil. And it's interesting because you see these movies, every movie is made up of love versus evil, hate, and it's always the polar opposites, the yin and the yangs. And it's like what Mega Man, it's funny. The best movies I like are the kid movies growing up, or with my kids growing up. But Mega Man says something that was important. And it was, wherever evil shows up, there's always good that will rise up against it. And I think you're starting to see that. The issue I think that we have a problem identifying in today's world is what exactly is evil. And I don't think anybody has a very good grasp on what actually is good and what is evil. And I wish it was more easily defined. But unfortunately, in a world where people think abortion is good and then others think abortion is the most evil thing on the planet, if we can't agree on killing baby life, I don't know. I honestly, sadly, don't know if we could agree on much. So that's that. So let's see. Let's get to some comments here. Biggie McD says, "We can love because God first loved us." Okay, interesting. God is love. Jesus is love. Love is the opposite of hate, Jay Calda says. And if Kamala Harris was president, we wouldn't have all these issues from A. Calories. You got to love it when A. Calories is in the chat, don't you? Don't you love it when that guy's in the chat? I'm going to say I don't see any chat. So usually when I get out and get back in, everything starts working again. Got it. There we go. Everyone's saying, hi, Valentino. You were always a crier. Yeah, you know when I was always a crier, especially when you drank my fucking Kool-Aid when we were kids. You jerk off A. Calories. He always drank my Kool-Aid. And that was back in the day when sugar wasn't so frowned upon. When you kind of, when you only filled up, if your pitcher was this tall, you filled it up with this much water and you poured the rest with sugar. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Valentino, love you, Mike. Biggie, love you, Mike. Wow, Victoria, right? Right, Mom? Isn't that unbelievable? 8 calories. Unbelievable. I'm so impressed and proud of her. Tor, she forgot to mention me, though. That's funny. That is funny. You, the gospel, I love it. You got to love when Big E's in the chat. You got to get on, Big E. I'll send you the link. Jesus is the only one that could change people's hearts. I don't know about that. I don't think Jesus is the only one that could change people's hearts. I think Valentino changed my heart, and I think I changed people's hearts. And I don't do it through Jesus, but I do think that I was given the ability to do so. See, I'm the type of person where I think we're all built with the ability to do so. I don't think they built us wrong. That's where me and Big E McD kind of differ. I don't think we were all sinners and terrible human beings right now. Maybe that was back in the day. I don't think that's the case now. When you look at Valentino, the way he was born, he came out smiling. He's coming out. He's acting very good. Did he come out a horrible, horrible person? No, I think he came out exactly the way he was designed to come out. And if you believe in God, I think that's the way I believe it. I believe because we have whatever combination happens that life is able to begin. That is something that we can't even fathom to be able to put together with all the genetic code and all the randomness and how it all works together. It's amazing. I think he was created the way he was created. And I'm gonna stick to it. Any other chats right there? True Biggie, hate and sin is evil. And Yankee 68 says government equals evil. I fully agree with you. Government definitely equals evil. But I have got to move on from this topic. I'm gonna be honest with you because I should not have read Victoria's. Oh man, I should not have read Victoria's things. Let's get to some breaking news. I haven't played this bumper in a while. And 8 calories just wanted to make sure that all of you watching, he wants me to say, y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. All right, so here we have some breaking news. Let's go through some of this stuff. Let's start with our top story, if I could possibly find it. Here we go. Dan Bongino, he says through a Truth Social post or a X post, I will be leaving my position in the FBI in January. I want to thank President Trump, AG Bondi, and Director Patel for the opportunity to serve with purpose. Most importantly, I want to thank you, my fellow Americans, for the privilege to serve you. God bless America and those who defend her. Okay. So now put it in the chat why you think he's leaving. But if you can, only put in the chat like fake reasons, not real reasons. Put fake reasons why he's leaving in the chat. Because I think it's something like he really saw some Epstein shit and he can't leave him out, and he just can't deal with himself anymore. If Bongino is the person he said he was and he portrayed himself to be, I have a feeling he got in there and he looked around and said, oh my God, this is so corrupt and it's so disgusting. And when he got in there, he immediately got a talking to, and he got sat down and said, listen, you little bitch, you are a nobody. You're here for a position. You're here to just get out in front of the media and talk. You're going to be nothing. Shut up and say the things that we tell you to say. And you saw that change. You saw him go from Epstein to I see everything in the file and it 100% does not exist. He sounded like a robot. It's like they replaced the real Bongino with robot Bongino. But why else do you leave? Now, he took this position and he's not even going to last a year. Why leave? Why take it? Why do it in the first place? Oh, because you can't say no in that situation? Why don't you look at Trump and say, do not nominate me. I don't want it. Or maybe do you think he really went in there thinking he could do something like most people do? You see it. You see it all the time. And this is the thing that I think bothers everybody. And it makes you lose faith in what's going on here, because you see time after time after time, you think good people, you believe in these people, you think they could do stuff. They convince you they could do stuff. They really believe that they could do stuff, and they get in there and they realize, I can't do shit. And I'm here to make a difference. And then what happens? They get swallowed into that entire system. It just sucks them right in. And I think he gets in there. I think Dan went in there with legit patriotic principle. You know, I don't agree with everything Dan said, but I think he went in there with legit patriotic principle. I want to do this. I want to serve Trump. I can make a difference in the FBI if I get in there. I can help out Kash Patel. I get to see what the Epstein files were all about. I get to do this. I get to do that. And he couldn't do a damn thing. And the worst part about it is, because you can't look like an asshole, what winds up happening is you turn into Aaron Boone. Everyone thinks Aaron Boone is the manager of the Yankees, but he's not. He is the PR guy. So what happens? He's not making these decisions, but he has to act like he is making the decisions. Meanwhile, the entire time you have Cashman and his bunch of retard rocket scientists who are in their analytic department, who don't understand baseball, who told Clint Frazier that there's no such thing as a baseball player getting hot. If you say that, you have no idea about baseball. But they are the ones making the choices. They're the ones making the decisions, and the same thing's going on there at the FBI. I think he realized he couldn't do a damn thing. What are your thoughts? A Calorie says he realized he can't make a difference. It's so corrupt, and there is no fixing it. There's nothing anyone could do. 100%. Bongino saw shit that would make his hair curl. It's Johnny69 says, yeah, I heard that. And yes, Trump's on at 9 o'clock tonight, so we'll get off a little bit early so you can get going to that. But I really do. I think it's that simple. I think when you go in as a man that Bongino always came off as he protected his integrity. Whether you thought he had integrity or not, it's a different story altogether. And I don't think he's a bad person, but he definitely protected his integrity. And what happened? You get in there, you're put out in a position where you're made to look like an asshole over and over and over and over again. Would you stay in that position? No, I would do the same thing. I'd get in there. Listen, Trump, how much money did this guy give up? He's not doing his show. He has people doing his show for him. But he gave up a very lucrative career as a Rumble host, as a podcast host, for this to be made look like an asshole. I actually kind of feel bad for Bongino right now, and I'm glad he's getting out. Next, this is interesting, and I've been saying, listen, I told you I would say, I told you so. I'm going to keep popping it out there, and if you have listened to me for a really long time, you're going to realize, holy shit, Mike's been saying this stuff since 2021. So here's this. A major study reveals why COVID vaccine can trigger heart issues, especially in one group. Now let's get into why. You ready for this? Now I want you to use your way back. I want you to use your memory, because a lot of you have been. I know Jersey Abe, you were like the number one guy on Calderisa Unleashed as well as my family was, right? So think back. Sorry, I hit that too early. Think back to what I was saying years and years and years ago, and you're going to realize it's going to start hitting you in a second. They found that those with myocarditis had two proteins in their blood, the CXCL10 and the infra-gamma, which are released by immune cells. Those proteins then activate more inflammation. Okay? So they had two proteins that make that happen. Now, if you remember what I was saying back in the day, is that for whatever reason, it was creating an inflammatory response in your heart and in your body. And that inflammatory response was creating all of it. And it was specifically from the vaccine. The vaccine was creating one type of inflammatory response, and the shot, or I mean the actual COVID virus was creating a different type of inflammatory response. But it was all because of the spike proteins, and now what they understand are these proteins that were interrupting receptor sites, interrupted. Apparently, these proteins take the place, and when you get those cytokines, let's go to the third one. Everyone knows about these. They say we think there's two different major drivers of myocarditis. Your body needs cytokines. Remember when I was talking about the cytokine storm? Your body didn't know when to ramp that up. What that is you have an immune response, and your body wants to ramp up your immune response and then stop it. A cytokine storm is when it doesn't know when to turn off the response. It's like an autoimmune disease. Your body needs these cytokines to ward off virus. It's essential to the immune response, but it can become toxic in large amounts during the cytokine storms. In mouse and heart tissue models, high levels of these proteins led to signs of heart irritation similar to mild myocarditis. One of the most striking findings was how much we could reduce heart damage in our models by specifically blocking these two cytokines without shutting down the immune system. So what they have done was they have, and do I have a COVID-4? I thought I had a COVID-4 on this one. I guess I do not. So what they did with this study is they isolated these proteins and then wanted to see how quickly they could shut them down if they needed to treat it. To me, I haven't seen the entire study to really go through it, but this is matching what a lot of doctors were saying what was going on early on. If you remember this, because if you remember that everything follows this very weird pattern where it's like, no, it does not cause myocarditis. Absolutely not. It's totally safe. It does not. To, okay, it does. But it's not really bad myocarditis. It's like super mild myocarditis too. Okay, it causes serious heart problems. And now we've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we all agree that yes, this is a problem. Now, finally, 5 years later, we're in the admitting it stage, and you still have the left that's still out there saying, oh, but it's not bad enough. You still have to take your shot. And there's other people that are saying, yes, it's very rare, but it does happen. And the problem is, this is the problem with it. You could have myocarditis and not understand you have myocarditis, and not get reported. So when you had a lot of these issues that were going on, it could have been in a much grander scale than anybody ever realized. That's something that nobody could ever tell you for certainty, right? They were talking about asymptomatic COVID back in the day. So we really truly don't even know how many people actually had it, because if you don't have any symptoms yet you were still infected, are you asymptomatic or are you just not infected? That's why I named my band Asymptomatic Flu. Let's see, PT Pod. Calderese is killing it tonight. Am I killing it tonight? I don't know, PT Pod. Inflammation of the heart is really bad, 100%. Let's see. What did Big E say? Bongino overstepped. He couldn't handle the pressure he was under. You know what, dude? I like that with Bongino. Bongino did overstep. He couldn't handle the pressure. I agree, Jay Callis. I agree with A. Calories. He realized Bondi wouldn't do what he believed needed to be done. Yeah, you know what? I think both of those things would go hand in hand, right? He's putting the pressure on, saying this has to get done, this has to get done, this has to get done, and they're putting the pressure on him to say, no, you have to say this, you have to do this, you have to walk this way, you have to talk this way. Walk this way. Finish it for me. Talk this way, right? But when you have to do that type of shit, you could fold under the pressure very quick there's so many different types of pressure. Imagine the pressure of having the expectation of being the guy that's going to go in there and help clean out the FBI, and you just got shut down and you can't do your job, and you have all these expectations put on you. The expectations are the pressure, and he's walking out of that job like slapped ass, just a complete and total wet dog with his slapped ass. It's been in a fight in the back alley. It's got its ass kicked. It's got scars all over him. And the worst part about it is the other dogs are pointing and laughing at him like, pussy, you got your ass kicked. You couldn't even handle the FBI. And he didn't go in there pushing those expectations. We put it on him. because of the shit he said. So maybe he did push his own expectations. I don't know. PT Pod. Sorry, I read the wrong one. Let's talk about RFK looking to approve creatine for everybody. we could talk about that in a second. Once again, when I get to, I'm going to go through this stuff pretty quick. I have a couple more stories, and then we're going to get to obviously an Ask Mike question. So right now, while we have this many people in the chat, do me a favor, finger the fuck out of my like button, and also put it in the chat what you want me to talk about pretty soon in the Ask Caldery section. Here's a quick one real fast. Nearly 2/3 of American voters back social media ban for kids under 16. I think I would support that. My only problem is this. There's some kids that can handle it. There's some kids that can't. When do we start banning parents? Because that's really the problem. Social media is not a problem if you can control it with your kids. Now, I'll be honest with you, with my kids, growing up with them, we grew up with this was happening so fast. And I think it's easy to get away from you. I think it really is. Today, I'm hoping parents are learning from the screen time. So I hate the idea of banning anything. I just hate it. You don't live in a free society if you have to ban stuff. But is banning necessary? But then once you start banning it, when do you stop? Well, then it's social media for these people. Then it's certain types of social media. And then what starts happening? Like what's going to be happening very soon. They're going to be making a big push against people being anti-Semites, and especially being anti-Semites online. And the problem with that always is, what is anti-Semitic? It is subjective. I could say things that are not anti-Semitic that people take as being anti-Semitic. And all I'm doing is asking questions. Is that going to be deemed horrible and I'm not going to be able to say it? I'm not going to be able to voice my opinion anymore? Because we have to ban that type of stuff? I'm telling you, this is coming from Australia. This is coming. I don't know if you noticed or not, but Trump just put an Orthodox Jewish man in charge of a big section of the State Department. I'm going to be talking about that on Friday. A very big part of the State Department, and their stated goal is to go after anti-Semitism, and not only go after anti-Semitism, change the minds of people to teach them that it's wrong. They're telling you they're going to ethnically cleanse you in America. They're telling you to your face. They told you to your face that that's what they wanted out of Hamas during this peace deal. No, you could no longer hate us. How do you say that? How do you legislate that? How do you make that happen? Ethnically cleansing them. That's the only way it happens. That's ethnic cleansing. Saying that I have to love you. That is insane. But that's what's coming. I'm telling you, that is fucking what is coming. Jack Smith, if you don't know, Jack Smith defends Trump prosecutions in closed house testimony. Smith testified Wednesday before the Republican committee about his dismissed federal case. He described proof of a criminal scheme to overturn the election results and willful retention of sensitive materials in unsecured spots like a bathroom, a ballroom. Smith insisted his decisions rested on facts and law, not politics, and he would prosecute similarly today. The case has ended after Trump's reelection due to this. So I'm gonna toss something out here. The Republicans, you're pussies for doing this behind closed doors. How dare you? There's a lot of Trump voters out here that voted for him that would have loved to hear Jack Smith's testimony in front of you guys. And not only that, I want to hear the questions you ask. I hate this behind closed door stuff. I don't know why they're allowed to do it. This stuff should be out in public. What did Trump do? What exactly did you have on him? We still haven't heard about it. What were the details of this thing? Because the bottom line is we spent the money on it. This investigation, Jack Smith was paid by the government. It's our tax dollars. And they're doing a closed-door meeting with a guy that everybody called a criminal for how long? Trump motherfucked him. The Republicans said he was a scumbag. But the Republicans give him a closed-door meeting? And then watch, when they have this closed-door meeting, 3 months from now, they're going to have Jack Smith back in, and they're going to make some big grandstanding horse shit, already knowing what he had to say. And what you're going to see is you're going to see a show. You're not going to see the real thing. And you're not going to get the real answers. And they're going to know how to dance around what he said so you don't hear it. And this is the part that drives me absolutely insane about what takes place in our government. Jersey Abe says, I love you, Michael. I love you too, buddy. I really appreciate you. Yankee 68. A rabbi said anti-Semitism is hate without reason. Bull. They give me plenty of reason. Yeah, listen, it's so I don't know if you know this or not. In our area, Yankee 68 on her off of Herbertsville Road, they bought a. This is what happened. And this is what people don't understand about my area. And this is what people do. They bought a property knowing they couldn't build what they wanted on there because nobody could, right? So they bought the property for a very, very, very low amount because it was unbuildable. Well, guess what? They asked to put a very big house on it. The whole planning board says, no, it's unbuildable. What do? They go to court. They claim and make some ridiculous claims that everybody there was anti-Semitic. And based on that alone, a judge, an activist-ass judge, is able to overturn the our township's zoning laws that were put together by professionals that were paid with township tax dollars, by people that were voted on from the township people. And you have this judge that says, no, you could build that there because everybody's being anti-Semites. Everybody's being so mean to you that we're going to let you do whatever you want to do. And that's what they do. And it's fucking disgusting. And this is what we have to... The R-Lupa laws that were put in place by Clinton and all these fucking Republicans at the time, they are laws that religions use to completely take advantage of our system. And anybody that... There's no other person that could have bought that lot and built on it. Nobody. But because there's one group of people that has special rules attached to them because they're anti-Semitism laws, they get to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And it's disgusting. And, you want to talk about what breeds hate? Shit like that breeds hate. Because everybody in this town knows that nobody would ever been able to build on that, but they have the excuse, the built-in 100-year excuse. And it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. I want to use the anti-Christianity clause. You're right, but we have to. Christians don't have any of this shit. You don't have any special needs. We need to form a religion where everything's a special need. Getting your car fixed is a special need. Getting your hair done and your nails done is a special need. This is the only way that we have to fight these people, Yankee 68, because it's ridiculous. We have to put a stop to it. And when we get so ridiculous, all we do is call people anti. Oh, you're just anti-mycologist. Why not? But everything is a sacrament. That way, every business, if you follow mycology, you just start up as a 501c3. Everyone, you don't set prices. Everyone just gives you a donation of the price. Feel where I'm going? And in mycology, you have to get your car. It is a sacrament to have a good running car. So you have to get your tires done from only a Christian, obviously only a mycologist type dealer. You feel where I'm going? And then all of a sudden you make that much of a mockery of the whole system, and maybe this will change. But you don't see that happening. What you see happening is you see everything that's good about America being given away. You know what the disgusting part is? We are fighting Muslims all over the world, but we're just letting them the fuck in. And we've been letting them in millions. I don't understand how this concept works. They're either the most evil people on the planet and we have to fight them everywhere else, or they're not. And we just bring everybody here. You feel where I'm going? I think we should just keep them out and let them go over there. Why are we bringing them here? We have an ocean between us. Build some ships. Let them get on some fucking, like the Venezuelans. Let them get on paddleboard and paddle your ass here. And then we get to turn you around and shove you back. Sorry. I'm going crazy. Let's do it, he said. Yes, we have to start our own religion. 100%. House GOP passes narrow health care package letting Obamacare subsidies expire. I'm going to talk about this really quick. Apparently they made a couple minor changes to this. They're not changing Obamacare, but what they're going to start doing in one of these, really, they're calling it a victory, but they're going to allow small businesses like myself to basically pair up and try to get package deals. I don't know how that's going to work. That's the whole idea. The whole idea behind Obamacare was that you could make these little, everyone can make their own little group, and that way you could group negotiate and you get your better deals through the group packages and all this horse shit. It's, one of the problems and one of the criticisms that the left does have against the right is they don't have a very sound solution to Obamacare. It seems like they want to dress up Obamacare and make it think you're doing something, and they're celebrating this as like a W. But again, I guarantee you it's not going to bring down my costs at all for healthcare, which is well over $30,000 a year with the $8,000 deductible. I find that just disgusting. Here's a little sports news. Rams star Puka Nacua, I love this, accuses refs of making up calls to get on TV. They're the worst. First off, Puka, completely fucking agree with you. They are the absolute worst. He said, he didn't mince words. He said they are the worst. Talk about the referees who appeared on a live stream with Neon. So yeah, basically, everybody that watched football understands that certain teams always get that defensive holding fourth quarter when they're driving 3rd and 13, big stop, defense gets a stop, defense is celebrating. Oh shit. Defensive holding, the team 99% of the time marches right down the field, boom, puts it in the fucking end zone, and they win that game. And here's the final one. This is the stuff I wish Trump would sometimes not do. But he mocks Biden and Obama with new plaques under the Presidential Walk of Fame portraits. So he basically just put like descriptions. Like here's Sleepy Joe Biden. He's the guy who fell off his bike and had kids wipe down his hairy legs. Yes, he's the creepiest president we've ever had in our lives. Some say he's the worst. I say fuck him. You gotta love it. I sometimes I just wish that he fucking didn't. But I've been asking you guys this entire time, and like my mouth could do, I can go. So let's see. Let's go all the way back. Let's see what questions we have here. I need your help tonight. Do we believe what they are saying about the Reiner death? Do we believe his son? Do I believe his son killed him? Yeah, I do. The only reason why is it would have to be a long, drawn-out thing. Apparently, from what I've been reading, they've had a number of different loud, shouting, screaming matches. The only thing that's weird about it is Trump's response, honestly. Without Trump saying the guy died because of me, because he said wrong things about Russia, he was brutally stabbed to death by his son, who we made go insane. I mean, I didn't mean to let that one out. But yeah, I mean, why? What's going on with that, Jay Caldo? You let me know. Put it in the chat. Why did Bongino leave? Is your tax preparer properly trained? I hope to hell my tax preparer is properly trained. Serena takes care of all that shit. So I could tell you, I don't use that any of the programs, but I'm sure they do. Anything else? Love is the opposite of hate. Any questions that you have for me, put them in. Mike is spot on. Love is not easy. It's easy to love me. He said it's easy to love you. Oh my Lord. You're the type of love that takes patience and what's it called? Oh man, yeah, I'll stick with patience. I don't even think I could say anything else. Trump was wrong to say what he did about the death of Reiner. Sometimes he needs to be quiet. No, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. The more I looked into this, listen, could he be quiet sometimes? Yes. Should he have put that stuff trolling the shit out of the new presidents? I do think that's a little bit beneath it when it's there. Could he have just not said nothing? But that's not Trump. Trump doesn't. When has Trump ever not said nothing? He's going to say something, especially if he has it out for you. Now, I bet they have met Rob Reiner. I bet he's had, personal dealings with him in the past. Trump knows everybody. And Rob Reiner came out very strong against Trump. He said some of the most vile shit on the planet. And the one thing I guess he said wrong was that he died because of him. I don't know. These Hollywood kids are all messed up. Pedo would, I guess so. I want to use the Christianity clause. Anybody have any other questions for the Calderies here? When I say, obviously, calling myself the Calderies, is it third person, fourth person, or fifth person? I'm really not. I'm really not too sure. Yankee 68. Sorry, Big E. Cutesy time is over. Reiner has been an ass since his Archie Bunker days, and his leftism caused his kid to be a druggie, and trans. So helped create the monster who took his life. There's, again, we cannot just dismiss that fact. What if their actions, his attitude, was in part what created this kid? You don't know what this kid been through. I don't feel bad for him at all. You're a child, you're a parent killer, you're a fucking absolute maniac. But they were parading this around. He was on talk shows with his son talking about, how they had to learn to love each other and live with each other and all this other happy horse shit. And the kid was on there saying, "No, man, I'm about to go fucking crazy. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go crazy." But no, he's making me love him. If you watch some of these older things that I've watched, it's you don't know what was going on in their lives. And the fact that, when people die, all of a sudden they become saints, and they become the greatest people on the planet, and you can't say anything about them. I think that's bullshit, man. If you were a piece of shit in life, you're a piece of shit in death. And if you were a piece of shit in death, you know what? If you get bad things said about you, go fuck yourself. Maybe you should have lived life better. Sorry. Jay Callis says, this is what Jay Callis says. Reiner was a pedo enabler. He protected people that were raping youths working on or in his films. I don't know if I could validate that. I will look into it. But that is I'm honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that is true. 100%. What's Trump speaking about tonight? Attacking Venezuela. Ooh, yeah. You know what? That's a great thing you just said here. I think I have his Venezuela thing too. Definitely not. Where is Venezuela? I had it here, buddy. I don't know if I brought it over. Trump news. Trump. Oh man, I had something on Venezuela. He said that our ports are outside of it. Here, let me see if I can get it up for you. I could probably read it here for you. Did I not have this? This is what Trump says. Venezuela was completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. It will only get bigger. And the shock to them will be nothing like they have ever seen before. It's going to be wonderful, huge, huge, until such time they return to the United States and America and all the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us. I have no idea what he's really talking about. The illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields to finance themselves. Drugs, terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping. For the theft of our assets and many other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking, the Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization. Therefore, today I'm ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminals, terrorists, and other countries to rob, threaten, harm our nation, and likewise will not allow hostile regime to take our oil, land, or any other assets, all which must return to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I like what he said there. I do love what he said there. I don't know what he said, but I love it. I have no idea what you're talking about, that they stole shit from us. I did read that they are now designated the Venezuelan government as a foreign terrorist organization. Listen, we've been watching what they've been doing to people that they claim as foreign terrorists. They've been bombing the shit out of them. Now, is it all we have to do since 9/11 was say, hey, you're a terrorist organization, and we can now bomb the shit out of you? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch the response here. I know you have people on both sides that are absolutely losing their mind. He's going over the year's highlights and to talk about what's coming up. I wouldn't be surprised with that. I think he's going to probably talk about a lot of things. It's going to be like a mock, it's going to be like a mock address without all the bullshit clapping. Speaking the truth is a virtue. Speaking your feelings must be truthful. 100%. Trump speaks at 9 p.m. tonight. We are going for that oil. 100% PT Pod, we're going for the oil. We should be going for the oil. Fuck them. Fuck them. Venezuela took oil fields that American companies built and paid for the mineral rights. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you, Yankee. Thank you, Jay Calda. But yeah, man, that's what's going to happen. So listen, let's do this. I appreciate you guys. I really, the God's honest truth here is I was driving home. I'm in a position where I had to work long hours, and I'm working I hired a guy for this job, and he likes talking. And I love talking to him, but I was trying to think today, and it's kind of hard to think and talk and have the conversations. So I really had no idea what I was talking about for today's show. And you guys helped me get through it. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it enough to finger the fuck out of my like button. I hope you enjoyed it to share the hell out of this. Share the hell out of this show. I know Yankee 68 does all the time. I know Jay Calda does all the time. I know Mama Dukes does all the time. Yo, Calderies, Calda, I don't know where the hell you're at, bro. I've never seen you share the show. I'm just kidding. I'm breaking your chops. But everybody, if you can, if you do appreciate it, share it. Let's grow the Caltrop army. We have to grow this. We have to get bigger. We have to have more Caltrops. We have to get to the point where we have so many Caltrops, we could actually make a difference with level-headed, right-minded people. That's the only way that I think we're going to actually make a change. Thank you very much. Be a Caltrop every day. Do not let the bullshit penetrate your mind. Thank you, guys. This Caltrop is out. Later.